Pisces, Pisces, Pisces! Welcome back to Neptune's Reign Tarot. I'm your host, Ashley. For those of you who don't know, this is a channel for Pisces placements. So anywhere you have Pisces in your chart, this can be applicable to you. However, I would suggest that it is most beneficial to those who are Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus or Neptune, okay, especially as we have Neptune in your first house if you are a Pisces ascendant. All right, so before we get into the tarot reading, we're just going to talk a little bit about the astrology, a little bit about the astrology, specifically in regards to Mercury stationing retrograde in Libra at 25 degrees in your 7th house. So you're being guided to take a dip back towards something in regards to your previous relationships or your first early encounters with love relationships, whether that be platonic or romantic, or whether that be business related. You're being asked to revisit things that may have caused you some pain or harm, and things that you've kind of swept under the rug. Pisces is being encouraged to lift up that rug and see what exactly have you put underneath there that you've been kind of trying to prevent yourself from looking at. You know, Pisces can harbor feelings and resentment and anger and internalize that in a way that comes out in escapism. However, you're no longer able to do this anymore. It's almost as if the rug has become bumpy. I was explaining this to someone the other day, that the rug has become unwalkable and you cannot walk across it easily now without being tripped up. So now it's time to pick up that rug and see what exactly you've put underneath there. And with that comes some acknowledgement of how you have been deluding yourself in certain relationships or certain connections you've had with people. You also have this energy that will be moving to your 8th house in October. So you're getting the first dibs at clearing out any emotional baggage that you have tied to past relationships, or like I said, early encounters with love, for example, in your parent relationships, before you start doing the deep psychological dive into anything that is restricting you personally from going where you need to go. And this is a very spiritual influence, with it being at 25 degrees, which is reduced to the number 7, which is a spiritual number, and it's about being connected to the divine and remembering who you are at the core as a spiritual soul and as part of the universe, not just as an individual but on a collective level, and how you contribute to the wider picture. So we also have Chiron in Aries in your 1st house, so aggressively being able to tackle the issues that you have around childhood wounds or any traumatic experiences that you have. You have Mercury opposing Neptune, so you might find that it's really hard to see clearly what it is that has been holding you back, and I feel highly that this is mainly to do with communication. I'm a Pisces myself, not a rising, however, but I have been experiencing this healing of my throat chakra, and I feel like every Piscean placement, or anyone who has Pisces predominantly in specific personal planets in their chart, will be experiencing the same thing during this Mercury retrograde Libra season. You're going to be asked to find balance within expressing yourself to others specifically, because that's not something that Pisces finds easy to do. So that is the astrology. We're going to get into the reading and see what comes up, but Spirit told me this is more about you than anybody else. So if you're having difficulties with communicating with others, try and find ways to encourage yourself and see it as something completely different to what you have been seeing it as before. I feel like for Pisces, we we make things seem far more dramatic in our head than they actually are, and I think that's what prevents us mainly from being able to express ourselves to others freely. Okay, Spirit. As Mercury stations retrograde, Spirit, what does Pisces need to know about the energies for next week? So Mercury will actually take station retrograde on the 29th, which is on a Mercury day on a Wednesday. So that's something to be mindful of. I would definitely say make some time to connect with the frequency of Mercury, and to really try and clear your mind throughout the day so you can receive the spiritual messages clearer of what you need to do to move forward. But despite Pisces, you are very intuitive, so it's not that you don't know what you need to do or what you need to pay attention to. It's just that you just can't find the words sometimes or the actual encouragement to speak your truth. Okay, can we go with Monday to Sunday, please, Spirit? So Spirit is saying that going with the flow of things is no longer feasible for you, Pisces. I feel like you have this inability to be decisive and tend to allow things to play out, which is great because you're on the path of least resistance. That's how Pisces are supposed to be. However, that doesn't mean that you sweep a lot of the things that bother you under the carpet. You still have to address them. Okay, so for Monday we have Justice. Okay. We have 4 Cups on Tuesday. We have the Queen of Cups in reverse on Wednesday, which is not surprising considering that's the day that Mercury stations retrograde. We have the Tower on Thursday. We have the Two of Swords on Friday. We have the 7 of Pentacles on Saturday. One more, please, Spirit. Oh. One more card, please, Spirit, for Pisces next week. 10 of Cups on Sunday. Amazing. Okay. Pisces, I definitely feel like what I was saying before in regards to the past, you might have some unfinished business going on with this past energy that's still lingering and trying to, spirits, take speed in your environment, in your immediate environment. It could be causing like insecurities, fear and anxiety to arise in you. And I feel like it's because something needs to give, okay? There's an energy that's been to and froing in the background, and I think Spirit is finally bringing in some sort of clarity. You've had this card come up, Justice, a few times, And I feel like it keeps coming up because something is on en route. They say something is making its way to you. Justice is making its way to you. And it's very much to do with like your heart and your third eye chakra, and how you bring the two into sync. All right, there's something that you know intuitively, and I'm getting a lot of tension in my head, but there's something that you know intuitively that has been like descended upon you from the higher realms in regards to something to do with your heart chakra that needs to be balanced, that needs to be cleared out. So it's like I said, you're taking a revisit into your past to think about and also work out which parts of you haven't moved on from something. I feel like there was some disappointment or boredom in love, or could presently be the situation. For some of you, you're oh, that's interesting. For some of you, you're working with someone, and I feel like the someone is your younger energy. There's something from your past, your childhood, that has been focusing on the negatives, been focusing on the fear of being independent, the fear of expressing, the fear of connecting with others, and bringing up this insecurity and anxiety of being able to do that freely. You've got the Four of Cups here, who is with a mermaid, and mermaids are associated with Piscean energy because mermaids are the bridge between a fish and a human being, okay? They are supposed to be a myth of the two and able to live on land but also live in water. So there's a need to bring balance here between your physical self and your emotional self, Pisces. But there's definitely this thing from childhood, because I see in this card how someone is like guarding themselves because of something. It's, you know, there's very childlike energy here and choosing not to delve into the water. But I feel like the mermaids have this ethereal quality where they are able to persuade people to do stuff and convince people to do something based off the alluring energy that they have. So I feel like you're being allured into really delving into this emotional side of yourself to clear out this stagnant energy. Some of you are feeling like you don't want to be like emotional. It's like ignoring your emotions because you think that maybe you're too emotional, or that your emotions lead you astray, or that you're not able to control your emotions. Some of you feel like your emotions are getting a bit out of control at this moment. You might feel like you're feeling really good one day and then really bad the other day, and there isn't emotional balance here. It's like constant going up and down, up and down, up and down. And I feel like this is if you're not able to really harness the energy of this need to clear out something that is essentially far more scarier, far less scarier than you are actually perceiving at the moment, then what is going to happen is you're going to have the energy of a tower coming in where lightning strikes. This is giving me Uranian energy. So some of you could have Aquarius placements, heavy water placements as well. So you might also be a Scorpio moon or a Cancer moon. We've got Libra card here as well, so definitely, like I said, about restoring balance. There's a release. There's a release of something. And I feel like if you don't tap into this emotional, stagnant energy that I've just been touching on, it's gonna be like you've been struck by lightning. So either something is gonna crumble in your environment, whether that be a relationship that you're holding on to that isn't suitable for you, or a business partner that you're holding on to that is kind of like being deceptive, I'm feeling, for some strange reason, especially with the sun moving into your 8th house in October. Maybe in October you find that someone you have been trying to build something with is deceptive, and you're having to make a decision, a Two of Swords decision, about whether to move forward or to cut this situation off. But it's like you're going into something blindly. And Spirit is telling me you're being guided to use your intuition, to use your feelings about something, not just how you perceive something analytically or logically, but what is the feeling. Like I said, alignment between your third eye and your heart chakra. How do they work in sync? Because at the moment it doesn't seem that they do that very well. And I think it's because there's a barrier that you have preventing you from being able to trust yourself, to be trusting of your entire self. There's a part of you that is adult self and child self, and you're being guided to bring the two together, because this is the energy that I'm getting, your masculine and your feminine side. So your feminine side might be the child you, and your more masculine energy is who you are as an adult, or vice versa, okay? But this Tower energy is definitely about something that it seems like it was built in a hurry, okay? So for some of you, it's like you were trying to put a crown on something that wasn't worth crowning. It's like you're trying to make a home out of something that wasn't worthy of being a home. Trying to make something financially from something that wasn't built on solid beliefs. Interesting. I definitely feel like your crown chakra is opening, or yeah, it's opened. It's opened already, but it's opening more, Spirit is saying. And this is why I'm getting extreme tension in my head, because you're receiving extreme downloads. I feel like there's some things that you're dealing with that they feel like they were centuries ago. Like something medieval. Like it could be ancestral, that your ancestral baggage that you're clearing out, that relates to something to do with you in the present moment. Okay, let's move on. Spirit is confirming. Right, so Two of Swords. On Friday, like I said, there's something that you have to make a decision about. For some of you, it's to do with like this idealistic view of your environment. I think for some of you, you've been living in this utopia where you're not clear on how others function in your environment, as in what do they bring to the table. I feel like for some time you guys have been with the fairies and out of touch with reality, and it's almost as if you're being blinded by something so that you can, like I said, rely on your intuition and see below the surface of something that is in front of you. It's a lot to do with the self, and a lot to do with something you have been working on, Pisces, this is a really good reading, because I feel like it's the fight. I think I mentioned previously in the last reading that it's the final boss, the final stage before you move on to your 10 of Cups. I think 10 of Pentacles came out last time, so 10 of Cups is here. You've got the stability. You've got the stability in a foundation, whether that be in a foundation with someone else or a foundation within yourself. But you have to have the emotional stability for longevity as well. For there to be, because that's the masculine aspect. We need the feminine aspect. When we bring both into union, then things are able to flourish at a rapid rate. And I think that's what Spirit is showing me. For some of you, you are single, okay? This is not just for love. This is more about you than it is about anybody else, like I said at the very beginning. For some of you are single and you're clearing out this energy. You've been doing a lot of work on yourself. You strayed very far from home, and that doesn't mean home as in physical home. It could be you could live by yourself, you could be fiercely independent, you could be someone who has worked extremely hard to have the stability that they have. But you've also got missing pentacles here, and it's about, especially in Libra season, it's about joining your finances, your resources with someone else, especially as more light is going to be shone on your 8th house in October. It's about stepping into that comfortability of doing that with others. And I think that brings you the 10 of Cups that you've been looking for. What's been crossing you, Pisces, is the 10 of Pentacles, which has been sideways. Okay, so there's definitely you've been focused more on stability, like physical stability, material stability, than you have been emotional stability. And the two cannot exist, because if you have physical stability, that's great. However, your emotional stability basically deteriorates because it needs to be fed. And you have to, in order, with the cycle of life, you have to water earth in order for it to grow. And the more it grows, the more water it needs. So you have to have the two in duality like this. Okay? All right. Can we get, okay, not these. Can we get Pisces headspace, please, Spirit? There's a lot going on in your head. I feel like you guys there's a lot of energy. There's a lot of energy being dispersed to you. So you're having to think about a lot of things that are in a short period of time. It feels like you're short for time. But Spirit wants to remind you that slow and steady wins the race. Okay, you need to put time, effort and planning into what you're doing. And I feel like as well during this period, with there being there's grand trines happening with, I can't remember off the top of my head, but Mercury's in a air sign, Libra. The Sun is in an air sign, Libra. Who else is in Libra? Lilith is in Libra, Gemini. No, not Libra, sorry. Lilith is in an air sign, Gemini, Pluto. I don't think Pluto is in an air sign. But Saturn is in an air sign, Aquarius. So there's a lot of air happening, and air helps water move very smoothly, but also very swiftly. So you can definitely use the energy of Libra and air signs to help you during this period to be a little bit detached, but also to be more analytical and intellectual about your pursuits, especially when it comes to your emotions. Because you'll start to see how your mind is what determines what you feel and how you perceive what you feel. Okay, Spirit, can we get head signs, please? Headspace, please. So I know previously you guys have been pretty guarded. However, you're definitely moving out of this space, especially in Libra season, to be a little bit more connected with others. Can we get headspace for Pisces, please? I said a lot of stuff on, like, my head is just... Which I don't think is normal for Pisces. Like, we think a lot, but we don't think a lot about serious stuff. Well, that's just my understanding anyway. Our heads are usually in the cloud about all the great stuff, but I feel like you're being brought down to earth, Pisces, especially you just had Virgo season, your polar opposite, influencing you and how you perceive yourself and your health and your environment and your career. So that could definitely be one of the reasons why you're in this headspace of thinking about everything in a Saturnian way. Yeah, something definitely in your headspace about moving on, but it's almost as if you're being forced. You're being forced to move on from something. And it's not a force to be reckoned with. It's a force that is guidance. It's a force that is like, you need to go into calmer waters, so you have to do this so you can enter calmer waters. Spirit is giving me, like, it's definitely to do with pain and heartache and hurt and trauma here. And it's almost like when you get to the end of this turbulent journey, you're able to fully let go of something. It's a lot of rain and water. And you know, when it rains, you know, like if you're at sea and it rains, it's like, oh my God, there's this fear that maybe it's gonna overflow. There's this panic that emotionally you're overwhelmed, or you're gonna be overwhelmed by revisiting these feelings of your past. And maybe you're even scared that you might drown, but Spirit is guiding you. You've got your mind, body and spirit literally trotting you along here. And you're in a boat. You're in a boat, so it's not like you're in the water already. There's still some element of you that's grounded, which is fab. But you just need to, like, Spirit is like, look up, look ahead. Not down, not in, you know, like, you can revisit the past without, allowing it to shake up your immediate environment. Like, there might be things that you need to release about the past, but you can do that safely, especially if it's to do with things that happened. Like I said, it feels like centuries ago, ages ago, not centuries literally, but it feels like ages ago that these things might have happened, and there might be, you know, a bit of a sore wound there, but you're able to do that safely in your current environment because you're in a much better place spiritually to guide yourself through that process and be guided by Spirit through that process. Like, you're no longer just blindly unaware of what is preventing you from moving forward or causing this emotional and turbulent blockage within you. You're aware of it. It's just a case of like, okay, let's finally face it. Heart space, please, Spirit, for Pisces. Thank you. Ace of Swords. Clarity. You're searching for clarity. Some of you are searching to find peace, searching to find, like, set yourself free, set your heart free from the entrapment of your mind. So again, what you focus on is what comes into fruition. So if you focus on all the negative things that could possibly happen off of what has happened in the past, then you're going to end up experiencing that in your immediate environment. It's going to be a self-prophecy situation where you have foreseen something but have actually brought it into your experience because you foresaw it so much by channeling your energy towards it. There's definitely this analytical process going on. So you guys are receiving some truth. 1 + 1 = 2. It's going to be 2. So this equals this. Hurt plus betrayal equals heartache and distrust. That's the reality of the matter, and that's the logical explanation behind it. You know, there's other things that could be added to that equation, but the reality is that is what happened in the past. That's what it amounted to, and therefore now working out, how do I solve that? How do I break down that equation to make it more digestible for me? Okay. What is the outcome, please, Spirit? Oh, some of you are... Be careful, because I feel like some of you are... Some of you are killing your imagination with this obsessive, possessive, insecure, fear-based mindset that you're in. Like your imagination is parched. Parched. Spirit is saying 7 of Swords in the outcome, and that's a beautiful outcome. It means that you are... Oh, yes, because 7 of Swords upright is a lot of energy being directed towards someone, a lot of harsh energy being directed towards someone, and them still being able to find peace and be untouched by the turbulence that is coming into their environment off of the back of the energies that are being shot at them. However, in reverse for me is you being able to have a period where that energy isn't so intense, having a period where you're able to master like the duality, like I said, of emotional and physical stability, and therefore clearing that energy away of feeling like so many things are happening to you at once that it almost feels negative. It's like you're entering a beautiful period, Pisces, where there is going to be a lot of opportunities and a lot of time spent on building your foundations and solidifying your goals and working towards who you see yourself as in the future. And that can become a negative or positive experience depending on where you sit on the fence. You know, if you're sitting on the fence where it's looking out towards the future, where you can see the bloom of all the things that you have worked on, that's a beautiful position. But if you're sitting on the fence and thinking about all the things you have to exert your energy towards, then that could be a negative experience, and it can make you run in the opposite direction, because we know that Pisces really suffers with commitment. So Pisces, that is your reading for next week. Let's get one closing card. What the Spirit has to say as advice for you, Pisces, next week. Spirit keeps reminding me that there's no rush. There's no rush. Give yourself time and patience to work through these emotions and these things that you feel resurfacing for you. Be loving and caring towards yourself and also towards others who are dealing with this energy as well. Guilt, I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. Okay, definitely any guilt that you have regarding past situations, forgiving yourself for things that didn't work out, or relationships that didn't work out as well. Some of you are guilty about a relationship with your mother. Okay. Indecision, I use my intuition in all aspects of my life, which was in reverse. So again, you, like I said with the Two of Swords, Pisces, you're being guided to use your intuition more often than not, and it could feel like you're blindsided. You know, you're not able to see clearly with your physical naked eyes, and that's why Spirit is encouraging you to use your intuition, because that is going to be a clearer guidance system than trying to see everything or trying to see through everything. All right, Pisces, that is your reading for next week. If it resonates, please do not forget to like, comment and subscribe. You'll find me back here next week. Hopefully my internet will be resolved by then and I'll be back online. I hope you guys have an amazing week and try not to stress too much, and we will speak soon.